What's up and what's good? Happy Friday. It's my favorite time of the week. Got the weekend coming up, got a lot of things planned, and I just want to thank you all for joining me, Dr. Nee, the Doc Outside the Box, on another, I don't know if this is an episode, a segment, whatever it is. This is going to be a short clip from a previous guest that you can't get on the regular episode. These are unique ideas from different guests who are going to talk about how they got past fear, procrastination, as well as insecurity. I always say that this show is as interactive as possible. I want to give you guys an opportunity to let me know what you think the name of this segment should be. Should this be a 5-minute Friday? Should this be Zero F's Friday? I'm not sure exactly the name of this, so I'm looking for y'all to let me know what y'all think the name should be. On this episode, I guess on this clip, you're going to hear some great things from Dr. Taylor Brana. He was on episode 76. He is the host of the Happy Doc podcast, a great podcast that you all should be listening to. And he's going to talk about the perspective that he uses to get past fears and insecurities. This is going to be a good one. Make sure you check it out. And also take a listen to his podcast. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as at thehappydoc.com. So Dr. Taylor Brana, man, look, you've participated in NCAA Division I gymnastics, so you've been in very stressful situations. You're a physician now. You've been in a lot of different stressful situations. Let's talk about fear. Like, is there anything that scares you? And if so, like, give the audience a little glimpse into how you're able to get past that and actually take action.
So there's this really good quote, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase it, but it's not the darkness inside of us that scares us. It's our light. It's our ability to be us at our maximum potential. It's that light, that person we could be, that is terrifying for everyone. And I would say that there's a lot of fears I have. The one that scares me the most really and bothers me a lot, and probably the reason why it actually helps me, is I'm really scared not to reach my potential. I have a lot of fear of not doing me to the best that I can. Like, I'm scared to be 80, 85, 90, or whatever age this happens, and I'm really sick and I'm on the bed and I'm like, crap, I didn't do all these things I wanted to do in my life. I didn't take these chances. I didn't try this thing out. I didn't go for this. I wasn't brave enough. I didn't live a full life. Like, living a full life, like even the podcast, like the Happy Doc, the voice of fulfilled, like feeling full, like that to me is just so incredibly important. And it's also my greatest fear. And so when it comes up are moments and challenges where I know I want to be someone or do something and I didn't do it, or there's this moment where I should be going for it and I don't. There's this book I read recently. It's actually very good and I recommend it. It's called The Third Door by Alex Banayan. Really interesting book, but he calls it the flinch. It's this feeling inside your gut. Like, for example, when you're a teenager and if you're a guy, you see a really cute girl and you're super nervous, you're attracted to her, and you feel this feeling in your stomach, like gut-wrenching terror of like going up to someone and talking to them and approaching them. It's like that approach anxiety, that feeling that something big could happen and you just like get the flinch. Like your stomach is in pain and you curl over. And like, how do you deal with that? The way I try to deal with it, again, I'm not successful all the time, but the way I try to deal with that is just acknowledge it's there. Like, just feel it, like feel that flinch inside my body, and then move fast enough that it doesn't take over. There's this really good thing with like anxiety called like the 3-second rule, where basically when you feel that fear inside of you, you have like a few seconds to move before it overtakes your system and take that action before you start to second guess what you're doing and it can really overtake you. That's more for like social situations. But then there's like the bigger fears. Like, for example, when I went out to make the podcast, like that fear of like, what are people thinking of me? How is this going to look like to other people? And that's sort of like the mind game type of fear, where there's this negative voice inside of your head that's telling you you can't do, that you're not good enough and all of that stuff. But the way I deal with that type of fear is every single person that is amazing, like you look at Elon Musk or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and all these characters and people that you think about that are amazing, Barack Obama, all these individuals, they're human beings who are great. They're human beings that are just like you. And so whenever you're scared of greatness and whenever you're scared of like shining your light of who you are, like you don't have to make it so big. Like everyone who is big is a person. And so if you can make that fear from like this really big thing to a small thing, like, yeah, everyone gets scared sometimes. That's fine. Everyone gets scared. I accept that I'm scared right now. That's cool. And then what's next is you can take that action. Other things, like when I think about gymnastics, for example, like I got afraid to compete. I was afraid to go on that equipment during a big competition and put my hands up and perform this thing in front of a crowd. But then you got to look back at your training. Have you been putting in the work in the process that now all of a sudden you can almost actually kind of relax and everything's going to flow and everything's going to move? So another part of fear too is maybe you're afraid for a legitimate reason because you didn't put in the training or the work. Like for example, trauma surgery or surgery, if you haven't performed the procedure enough or you don't know the process enough, you might not be able to perform the procedure. So practice would also be a really important thing there. So those are some of the things I think about fear and how to overcome it.
Hey guys, if you really enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more coming. Make sure you hit your subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. And also at the same time, leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think about this clip, this segment. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.